Hey, I'm back. Okay, now that the kite is done. Okay, now we're going to discuss fuzzy tails, because that's what we're going to build for your kite. Okay, now, this is a fuzzy tail. This is a very well used, old fuzzy tail. It's not quite as wide as what I make them now. I think that's like a 4-inch. I make a 6-inch wide tail now. And this is a fuzzy tail. You cut off long strips of solid fabric, just it's all wide, solid piece of fabric. Let me show you. Well, I'll show you later. And then you sew, in this case, I sewed on the string. Then I come back, the whole thing gets folded over, and I cut. That way I cut both sides at once. And it doesn't take long to do a tail. Not for me, anyway. And this is how we do that. Okay, so fuzzy tails, very efficient, very effective at providing drag and stability for your kite. So, what we're going to use, because not everybody has got the special feet to run that string down that fabric, right down the center, like I can do on my big machine. I can do it on my brother. I got a little special foot that I had to buy. That'll run it, but not as efficiently as what my fabricator will, my Cellrite machine. It will do it, but once again, you got to buy that special foot. So most people will use ribbon. This gross grain ribbon. This is 3/8 wide ribbon, okay? Now, so first of all, you got to make up your tail pieces. Your tail pieces, in my case, I usually use 5-foot long sections. That gives you, like on a 50-foot tail, that would give you 10 5-foot long sections, so you got plenty of pieces that you can put for different colors, depending on what color your kite is. Or you could, join them together and have, 20-foot section or 10-foot sections or whatever you want. But I generally use 5-foot long sections. And you sew them all together into one long 50-foot long piece. Now I'm not going to do that here. I got maybe a 10-foot piece sewed together. So you sew your all your pieces together. You just do your standard standard seam. Then you fold that seam over and sew that down, so it looks like that. It doesn't have to be any fancy sewing here, just enough to get it sewed together. So in my case, I got 2 seams like that. Once again, just let me show you a couple pieces here. Just sew across here, and then fold that over, fold that up out of the way, and then sew across here, sew that down. So you get those all sewed together. Then you come to each end and you put this nice hem on there. This, you just double it. Fold it down about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and then fold it over again. You do this on both ends of your long tail. Just like that. Now how do we get the ribbon sewed on there? Well, this is 3/8 wide. Ooh, I might not have enough to go all the way. How about that? Well, we'll make do with what we have. So, I've only got maybe 6 feet here, if that. So, we'll go as far as we can. So, we've got this, we got our foot. And just like all feet, now, let me find a better example here. Trying to find a foot here I can better show you. Here we go. Okay, almost all up, well, just about every foot, it's going to have this opening here where your needle goes. That's 3/8 of an inch wide. So, our ribbon fits right in there. Fits right in there. It's a perfect fit, almost. Perfect fit. So what we do, put that through the little hole there, the opening. I don't drop it. Come on. Well, being finicky here. Now, one thing you got to remember, with that in there like that, you can't reverse sew. Okay, so you want to leave enough of this out here to form a loop. Okay, we got to have a loop out there. So that'll be about perfect right there. Do that. Okay, so that's wanting to fall off of there. And put a little weight on there so it don't fall back. Well, that's a good video, isn't it? Okay. Whoops, now it's too much weight. Okay, there we go. So, I've got, this is 6 inches wide. I got marks on both sides of my needle at 3 inches each side. So now, we do that. Turn that there. Get that kind of centered underneath there. Get our needle drop down. And we just start sewing. So about all you really need to do now is watch your alignment on your fabric with your marks here. Keep your tail from all balling up. If you brought your a bucket with you, you could roll this tail up, put it in your bucket, and then set it here and let it unroll. And then, of course, you got to kind of keep track of your ribbon. So see, you can move right along with this ribbon. Because running it through your foot like that, it lays it down right where it belongs. And as you can see, I'm going to run out of ribbon here. And remember, you can't back up. So, we'll just pretend that we reached the end of our tail. See? Down there all nice and good. And then what we would do, come back up here, sew our loop on here. That's a little long. That's just a little long. That's okay. Put it down there. And then sew across it. Once again, 2 or 3 times. 3 or 4 times. Oh, well, that kind of messed up there in the back. But anyway, then you hot cut that off. This is where we attach our fishing swivel. That goes to the kite, and then we'll have a V-shaped harness that goes on it. Then our harness, how this is attached to the kite. Remember, we put our tail loops on. There's one on each corner, and in my case, I put one in the center. So this, we come down with what they call a Y bridle. We're going to come down from each corner of the kite with about, let me see, in this case, about a 10-foot long piece of string coming down into a Y or a V. And then we'll have a fishing swivel on that, and that gets attached to this. And that's how that gets hooked to the kite. Okay? So when we go out to the flying field to test this kite, I'll take one of my other fuzzy tails and show you how that's hooked up. All right, now what you got to do with these fuzzy tails is you got to cut them up into segments. I'm just going to cut this off. Can you still see me? Let me see if you can see that. Nope, you can't see that. Let me move this out of the way. There you can. Okay. So, now you can see the loop that I sewed on there. I just cut off that excess. But now you got to go down and you got to cut this. You got to segment this. So one way you can do that, you can either fold this thing in half. Let me get rid of all those Irish pennants there. Fold it in half and cut it. Which with ribbon I find kind of a pain to do, because you got to get it pressed down. So it might be easier if you just pick up your scissors and do one side and then go back and do the other. So you just take your scissors and cut right up to the edge of the ribbon, about a 2-inch piece, and they don't have to be exact. Do not have to be exact pieces. And you do this for the entire length. And once again, when I do it, when I use my string to make my kites, with the string, I'm able to fold this over. It folds right over, just really nice. That way I can go down and cut both sides at one time. But there again, I make a lot of fuzzy tails, so I have to do them efficiently. Okay, then you come back and do this other side, and your cuts don't have to line up with the pieces on the other side by any means. So, and of course you do that for the entire length of your tail. Now usually if I'd had enough ribbon to go the entire length of this, I don't know, 10 or 12 feet here, I would have left enough ribbon on the end to put another loop. That way, if you ever want to make your tail longer by adding another section of tail on there, you can always do that. So, there's a fuzzy tail. So, basically the kite is done. The next thing would be to make a bag. I think I am probably going to order bags for everyone. Actually, the bags are cheaper than making a bag, unless I can find me some really cheap fabric. But yeah, there we go. So the kite's done. I'm going to make my streamer tail. It's probably going to be a rectangular tail. I think, I don't know, but it's going to be a red and black tail. and we get a decent day, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, we'll go test fly this thing. Okay? So, want to wish everybody luck. Oh, color-wise, pretty much the colors of the rainbow. Colors to maybe stay away from is pink. Pink is really hard to get, and usually we have to pay a premium for it, so we want to stay away from pink. Although I do have a little bit of pink here. So usually, you know, your blue, your orange, your yellow, your green, neon green, yellow. Actually, the neon green with black is a really popular blend. Your reds, of course. Just about all the colors. Oh, neon blue. Neon blue, another popular color. And that's, you know, there's about there. So, yeah, pretty much the colors of the rainbow. Okay, so I think that's it for all this stuff here, except for when we go test fly. Okay, bye.